Hello and thank you for joining us back here at Lana Podcast. And today we are turning our minds to the ever-present subject of artificial intelligence. AI continues to dominate headlines around the world, but today we're turning our minds to the very specific subject matter of marketing and communications and how the sector is being disrupted. Firstly, though, as always, we have to thank our partners Tickmill for coming on board with us. Without you, we wouldn't have been able to put this together. Active in over 180 countries, Tickmill is a global multi-asset broker trusted by traders worldwide, and we appreciate the support very much. Thank you, Tickmill. So, joining us here today to help break down this subject is Udit Agarwal, the VP and Global Head of Marketing for Exotel. Udit, thank you for joining us and welcome to the show.
Thank you, Matthew. Thank you for having me here. It's a pleasure to join you today.
Now, as I said in my opening monologue there, artificial intelligence is obviously a dominating subject for businesses around the world. One area in particular that we're already seeing disrupted by Gemini, for instance, on Google, is how this is impacting marketing communications. And I think that would be a great place for us to start the conversation here.
Absolutely. I think marketing is disrupted quite a bit because of the AI, and it's also because the pace of content that you get generated through Gemini, the creativity is to the next level. So one has to have a vision what they need to do. Rest the computers can do it for you. You really don't need a human support to do it. However, I think the data models are still in the nascency stage, and we're seeing a lot of development happening every other day. There is a new development in terms of the models, in terms of the capability, in terms of competency, in terms of their technology integrations with the legacy systems are happening every other day. So I feel that this is a lot of growth opportunity in the marketing. As a marketer for a very long time in the technology space, I think I'm very fortunate to be living this decadal moment where AI is able to come closer to the reasoning of human intelligence. And today, AI is actually creating more reasoning to it. It's not rule-based, and it's creating content, it's creating workflows which can be automated. So there is a lot of routine tasks which can be automated, which machines should do, and humans are free to think what is the next step that they can do, what are the new things that they can launch. I think human mind is there out for creativity. There's more innovation. I feel that would be coming in the coming times. I think AI is just the bedrock of that.
I love how optimistic your answer is there already, because I often find the discourse around artificial intelligence can become a little bit doomsday-esque. Then when it comes to marketing, in particular, when we're having this conversation around visibility online, I'm sure there must be challenges there for brands already.
Yes, absolutely. November 2022 is when ChatGPT got launched in the world. Just completed 3 years, and we are in 2026. I think the fastest technology revolution that has happened in the history of the mankind is through AI, and it's through generative AI that has happened. There's a lot of revisions, there's a lot of updates that has happened. The AI which we used to know 2 years ago and the AI which we know now and the AI which we will know later, I think they will be very, very different. So there is a lot of model data training that is happening. AI is becoming better every day. And the beauty is that the more of us is using AI, we are actually training the AI to be better. We're coaching the AI to be better. There are more companions to us today. There is a less hallucination. The AI is more tamed. There are companies which are working to make AI more responsible. There is a human-in-the-loop philosophy which still exists, which I think will go a long way. But AI being your companion to create speed of execution, create a very high-value systems to operate, I think that won't go at all, right? That won't go. I'll give you an example. You've heard of this cab company called Waymo? Waymo is back in US. They do autonomous cars.
Or Google offshoot, I think.
Yeah, so it's one of the Google's incubators, and then they've started the autonomous cars. It's a driverless cars. You will find them everywhere in San Francisco. You sit there and the car will drive you to your place. A lot of people still feel that it's very safe because it just go by the rule. It just go by the rule, by all traffic rules, everything. But still people feel if there is a human in it, they feel safe. They feel that a car is more responsible in their more responsible hands. So there's a lot of AI which is there in that car, but it's human in the loop, which makes people more believable, which makes people... And the same thing happening in marketing today. So we are producing results much faster. We are creating workflows which can integrate and automate a lot of routine tasks. But there is a lot of human element also in that, where AI is tamed and AI can actually do it for you. So it is a human assisted AI and AI assisted human. There is a little gray area out there, Matthew, and I think that is the area which would create a lot of differentiation in coming times.
You touched on a really important point there, I think, already, which is simply this staggering speed of innovation.
Yeah.
How me as a person, somebody who needs to know how marketing communications is changing, or my brand, how do I stay on top of that? How do I know what to adapt to and stay on top of how these tools are changing so quickly?
I think there is what has happened is there's a lot of information noise today in the market. Span of attention is very, very small today. Each one of us has mobile phones and multiple apps today. There is a beautiful graphic which is crossing my mind today, where humans are hooked to machines and machines are learning. So I picture paint for you. Imagine a machine is reading a book and human is reading a machine, or human is hooked to a machine, right? Now, what is it doing for you is they're creating a lot of content for you as your preferences, your mood, timing of the day, occasions. It's creating content for you to consume at every point in time. It's creating a lot of cognitive pressure on you to make choices. The choices are becoming commoditized. Somewhere you're actually picking up choices based on the experiences that you have, based on references that you have. A lot of us today are on Instagram, and the scroll thing have started in the life. It's because we get to discover cities, we get to discover cuisines, we discover clothes, we discover fashion today through Instagram. And it's so much like you scroll it, maybe you scroll it 15 minutes later, there is an absolutely new different feed altogether. Now in that space, AI is actually aggregating a lot of data about us as human beings. Maybe I'm searching something on Google. Maybe my location says that, hey, I am somewhere in UAE. Maybe my location says that I am somewhere near the beach. Maybe during that time I could be drinking. Now, it's information. The phone has everything about you. Google knows everything about you. Now, imagine that data when it gets syndicated, when someone joins a dot and creates something which in the moment that you are looking for is something which is very useful for you, but at the same time is scary. Because there is nothing which is private. There's no privacy at the end of the day. And that is creating content on the run for you. I've seen the ads where I'm actually, maybe just trying to see what's new in the menu maybe for tomorrow. And I just see an ad, hey, hungry, and you want to order something. Yeah, right? It's like somebody is really watching me every time out there and creating a very personalized content. Creating a journey for you to make that purchase easy, make a decision easy, is a second level of automation.
Now, let alone the advantages for the consumer there, privacy regards to one side. For brands, you say you might be hungry and then you get an advertisement which is, hey, can I get you something to eat? If I'm a brand, how do I become the one that gets recommended? I want to be surfacing as a result from an AI engine.
Yeah.
How do I do that?
Yeah. I think our communication has changed a lot and people tend to trust users more. There's more user-generated content today on the fly. We book a hotel basis a review that we read today. We eat a meal basis the recommendations in the star rating about different apps. This could be good. There's a lot of trust factor that is coming in from influencers. So there's a shift happening from endorsers, or the celebrity endorsers, to the power users of those products. I think that is where the brands have to be there, because somebody has to trust you. If I'm endorsing a shampoo which you will never use it, versus somebody who is a power user of it, you tend to believe more. So I think there's a lot of believability that has to be built in, and it has to be built in very fast and to be delivered to you very, very fast in the context that you are in. So contextuality, observability of your behavior, and personalization at a level which is so close to you. And imagine this, the entire journey is automated. So this is entire data everywhere. So you automate everything. I'm observing you. I'm creating a very personalized outreach to you. I think that is what AI is doing, connecting the dots on the data.
As you're pointing out here, there's a huge number of different applications. There's a huge number of AI firms out there that are offering me the solutions. Let's pretend for a moment I'm the CEO of a company. I think I probably at this point have a certain amount of fatigue when it comes to the number of AI tools that are available to me, the number of AI tools that have been presented to me. How do I know which ones I should be looking for? How do I overcome that fatigue? Because these products matter. And as we already mentioned, they're innovating incredibly quickly.
Yeah. That's a very good question, Matthew. And you touched the nerve out there of selecting the right AI technology for your company. And as a marketer, I deal that every day. And there's a lot of noise about various AI options available all across today. And the way I look at it is, before we approach which tool I need to buy or I need to invest, I think we need to step back and figure out what I need to automate, what I need to solve, where I need to create more bandwidth, where I need to create more speed, where I need to create more experience for my customers. I think those are the priorities which are very, very important. And the second is that, are these priorities important for my business? Are these priorities vanity? Or are these business priorities would create some outcome for my business? Now, you might be able to shorten these 2 or 3 top priorities. And basis that, if we do a certain audit in terms of what role a technology can play versus what role a human can play, can I actually create better life for my employee workforce using technology? Can I create more speed to market using technology? I think those answers will give a lot of clarity what to use. And then second is that once we have that viewpoint, we generally go after and figure out, fair, let's do certain POCs or pilots with a couple of companies in that area. And there's a lot of tried knowledge available today in the market, which means that, and I rely hugely upon that, where some people must have used certain AI product and ask them, how did it really happen for you? Did it scale? Or did it break in between? Can you reiterate on that? I'll give you one example. I was talking to one of my bosses, and he was very enamored by one of the AI capable product to do websites very fast. You do 2 prompts, and the web page would come beautifully. And it's beautiful, and I tried it, and we built on it. I was surprised. I said, my God, somebody will take 3 days to design, 2 days to develop, and maybe a day to integrate and host. It's about 6 days. This thing is doing in 6 minutes, or maybe early. The problem out there is the moment we start to go a little deeper, it is good to do 1 or 2 pages. But if you have to change something, if I want to change the message, if I want to change my image, everything gets changed. Because it changes everything. It is not reiterable. Second, if I have to integrate into my legacy systems, it's not allowing me to do as an output. If I have to capture who has come on my website versus creating a complete workflow, it is still not there. So I say, this is great to look at it, but I think there is a long way to go out there. So I think let's hold on to a bit, continuously to see, to pilot, and figure out which one works best for you in your business in its completeness. And are you okay to live halfway, if not complete? That's my viewpoint.
There's an interesting point in there around the fact that, as with most new technology, AI tools can help democratize some things to a wider marketplace than previously. Like you're pointing out there, for instance, website development suddenly becomes much easier for the layman.
Yes.
You can launch sites a lot faster.
Yeah.
Doesn't that mean, though, that for established players, there's suddenly a huge amount more noise in the marketplace? Does it make differentiating yourself harder? Because suddenly there's so much more stiffer competition launching ever faster.
I'll take it the other way. For more matured companies, suddenly the market has become more niche. Because now they don't have to worry about servicing companies which are starting or in the startup phase, or small enterprises which are trying to scale, they can actually focus on large companies, very enterprise. The target market becomes far more finite, far more bigger. They're trying to solve more complex problem. Their innovation can be more focused around these areas of development which the complex organizations would need. However, the small and medium companies today, or startup companies, would have an advantage to go to market faster. They don't have to deploy a lot of people. They don't have to deploy a lot of capital for basic things like, creating email sequences, creating search models, creating creating graphics or creatives, or creating websites. All of these can be handled by AI today, right? To creating voice agents today. So voice agents is becoming huge success today, and they can talk in any language, as you say. They don't have to deploy the entire army to do all of this. Now, this is the entire go-to-market preparation. Imagine a company which is starting up, or a company which is in the early stages, or a company which is in the mid stages. To do that, they have to deploy a lot of capital, a lot of human. There's a lot of operational work to do it. Everything is taken care of by AI. And you don't need to create a complex scale to do it. However, think about large organizations where the stakes for their customers are high. Let's suppose you're banking with a large bank. Now, imagine if they do start to do everything with AI, you as a person will get hallucinated and get, hey, I'm not very comfortable, right? And I want to be more mature. So where the stakes are high, the large organization, matured companies will start to solve complex problems for them, making it easier for their customers to work with.
Let's talk about this idea of cultural and localization efforts. Historically, I imagine one of the biggest challenges for a company that's looking to expand has often been adapting to cultural norms and localizing their products to other parts of the world. We're having this conversation right now in the UAE.
Yeah.
And you have a lot of companies which come to this market and launch their products, and they try to Arabize their products, launching it often in a language they haven't worked with before, and also to local cultural norms. What impact has AI tools had on that, and what kind of impact do you see it happening in the future?
A great question. Getting to speak in a different language is not understanding the culture. A lot of AI technology today can give outputs in Arabic language. So there are speech-to-text models where your speech can be converted into a text, and the computer will interpret that text and actually give it back the text, and the text then converted to be speech, right? And those kind of models interchangeably creating breaking a lot of language barriers. But I think cultural barriers go much deeper than just understanding the language. And that's where a differentiation to understand data out there. And there's a little bit more time for AI to go. And we as a company at Exotel, we're just trying to work on that. And we have not perfected the sauce up there at this point in time. Because you got to understand how people behave as a sentiment, how people create contextuality. How do people have an intent about buying something or not buying something? There's a lot of art of consumer behavior out there. And that's what the culture is. How do you dine together? Do you do a prayer before you dine? Do you prefer dinners with family? Do you prioritize family over friends? There's a deeper shift on the culture. I think AI still need to understand that part of it. And there's a lot of data training that is happening on that. There's a lot of data patterns which is getting picked up from multiple areas through internet today, and creating certain output which is creating a cultural AI. I think that cultural AI is still away. The language AI is here, if I have to say,
I think we can agree, though, that it's not that far off.
It's not that far off. It's not that far off. It will just take a little bit, maybe a year at tops, I would say, where AI will start to embrace Majlis culture in UAE and start to respond, greet in every possible manner, have nuances around that. You might prioritize your family. You have a very different way to live life and be personalized to that level. Just not language. Just speaking in Arabic, but you speak in Arabic, but then you lose the entire contextuality of that culture will go away. It's not culture. So in my view, there's a lot of context building in AI, which is happening through data. I'll give you an example on this, which make it easier for our viewers as well. When you go and talk to any customer service agent, let's suppose you call your insurance company and you're trying to process a claim for medical emergency. There is a certain way of urgency that you're addressing. There's a certain way that you might treat. Some people might panic a lot and they want an answer every point in time, right? Some people take it easy. Some people say, okay, fine, I understand the process is longer. So there are different tolerance limits. There are different ways of behavior. And there is somebody who is responding to you, and then you again call up. And then they say, hey, Matthew, how can I help you? I know that you wanted to, apply for your insurance. Fair. The other hand is that you say, excuse me, I did 2 calls already. And maybe in your mind that's going out, you could just ask me politely, hey, how's your ABC person doing? I hope they're doing well. And I know that you have raised the claim. We are already processing it, Matthew, and here is the status. Now, imagine the experience of that conversation versus the experience of the conversation earlier. Both can be in Arabic. But the second one has a lot more contextuality. Second one has lot more warmth to it.
It's a better experience.
Better experience. It is a lot of care to it. Now, that data is already there with the company because you called 2 times. The conversational data is there. But to connect the dots, I'll give you another example. I lost my bag. Not lost my bag. My bag was delayed in one of the airlines. And I was traveling. And I raised a complaint to that airline baggage counter that, hey, my bag hasn't arrived. And I have a meeting to attend tomorrow. My wardrobe is there. What am I supposed to do? They just said, sorry, sir, we've raised the ticket for you and we apologize and your bag would be with you as soon as possible. They've not offered me compensation, and compensation is not something that I'm looking for because I need to go buy, which I don't have time for. Few minutes later, Matthew, would you not believe, I got a message, Mr. Agarwal, I hope your flight was amazing and we would like to have your experience on that. I said, what bullshit? Your data didn't talk. It's out of context. I have raised a customer service complaint. I'm raging. You're not asking me an experience out here? So see how disconnected systems are. I think that is the holy grail of connecting the data dots to bring contextuality will save a lot of money for the companies and create a better experience.
Last question for you here today. Unfortunately, we can't spend all day having this conversation because we could go on forever. As I mentioned, we're having this conversation in Dubai, in the UAE. You, as Exotel, are a gigantic technology company who have some operations here in the UAE. I'd just love to hear your thoughts on how you see Dubai and the UAE more broadly as a player in the global technology and AI ecosystem, and how you see it from Exotel's point of view.
I think there are 2-3 questions bundled here. One is definitely what is the UAE outlook on technology. I think UAE is always at the forefront of any new trend that comes up in the world, and technology and AI is no far behind. The way I see the dependence on the oil economy in Dubai is going down, but they are very proactive in terms of building the strides on AI. I was reading somewhere that the UAE is pledging $100 billion coming up in next decade or so by AI. So they're shifting a lot of economy to a digital economy powered by digital transformation initiatives. They're creating a lot of incentives for tech investments to happen in UAE. You take large companies which are coming and setting up foot out here. UAE government is actually pledging to sovereign AI, which is like creating data centers within UAE to make sure your data is safe and it is sovereign with the nation, because they are very high on security and safety of data. They take it very, very seriously. I think all these investments are an indicative of about that UAE is very aggressive to create this as one of the tech capitals in the MENA region. And having said that, we have started to see a lot of adoption as an Exotel of AI and technology products by the company. I think the whole appetite of technology and AI is changing fast. One of the trends that I give you is, remember, like when I was young, I was writing a lot, Matthew. My writing was very good. I used to get a lot of accolades for my writing. And as I grew up, after my senior school, we were very much into computers, and during my adolescence and youth, the phones have come up and all that. I really forgot writing so much because I'm typing a lot. And off late, if you really see, I type a lot. My writing is poor than a doctor today.
Mine too.
And I hate it. And it's because I don't practice it at all. Having said that, in last 1 year, I'm started to type less because I'm talking more. I'm so comfortable in sharing voice notes. I'm so comfortable in chatting with my computers because computers can talk back today. It's a biggest trend that we are seeing in the next generation, that you would see that you don't need to type if you can talk to someone. Voice is the most natural form of conversation in human beings. And if you can talk to something, why you have to type about it, right? So you can talk to your phone, you can talk to your computer. So imagine the next generation coming in. They don't have to find and search or type something. I see my daughter. She grew up with giving commands to Alexa to do everything for her. Setting up reminders, to music, to giving guidance on certain assignments. She's growing up with the voice. Now that shift is happening. Now that's an tech adoption. A lot of this is coming to UAE in a larger manner. UAE focuses on citizen experience, governance, right? I was hearing that UAE talks about the zero tech stack or zero bureaucracy, where they're actually creating no bureaucracy for tech implementations across governments, and they're creating digital transformation. I think that would create a huge digital transformation. Imagine you don't have to call for any emergency. You just go talk, press a button and say, hey, I'm here and I'm just facing this particular thing. It's recorded. Your location is there. You're there. So that kind of transformation is going to happen in Dubai. And I think that would be massive. That would in itself take Dubai to top of the charts, and the vision for Dubai, I feel, could be very, very different from all these trends that I'm seeing, largely driven by AI. Second, UAE's pledge to reducing dependence on oil economy and creating, digital transformation-led economy. Third, building tech ecosystem, creating incentive for companies to set up shop. I think all of these are indicators for Dubai to come up on the global stage from technology standpoint.
Wow. What a fascinating conversation we've had here today. Obviously, the interesting thing is if we had this conversation again in 6 months' time, it would all be different. It only exists for me to thank you for joining us here today, Udit. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Matthew. It was a pleasure to be here. Thank you so much.